No team has made more off-season changes than the Cleveland Browns, and that includes a new training site at Lakeland College just outside of downtown Cleveland. With the addition of heralded linebackers Tom Cousineau and Chip Banks, the defense has been revamped. But if
the national media focused their attention on the Browns summer training camp at Lakeland Community College and discovered a team determined to recapture the rapture of their great 1980 season. Sam Rutigliano's squad had made major changes with a new emphasis on defense. A blockbuster trade allowed a hometown hero to fulfill a boyhood dream of playing for the Browns.
Thank you.
Tom Cousineau's dramatic arrival was matched only by the imposing presence of Chip Banks, who brought a big play reputation and one of the most impressive physiques ever seen in a Browns uniform. Both linebackers were expected to be instant impact players, but both were still rookies with much to learn about the NFL.
To hold off the slant pattern to the X. We don't want you to get up here on the line of scrimmage as he comes in motion in cover 7 and jam him here and be sitting on the line of scrimmage. Okay, back. Now, you got anything coming through the B gap? Anything that hits quick in the B gap belongs to you.
Led by their young, revamped defense, Cleveland went undefeated in 4 preseason games. And everyone in Art Modell's organization was optimistic about the season to come.
On paper, I'd say this is the best group the Browns have had since I've been here, maybe since Jim Brown's days. I am optimistic. I'm making no predictions, but I'm very pleased with what I've seen, and we have a fine group of athletes, and we may surprise a lot of people.
Well, I think we have a very positive outlook this year. I think that we have the team and the players here to put together a very good season. Hopefully we win the Central Division and back in the playoffs and a shot at that Super Bowl this year.
I feel this year is going to be our year. And last year was just a learning process for us. We lost a lot of close games that, you know, we could have won, but we ended up being 5-11, and I feel that there's no dominant team in the NFL anymore, and we're going to turn around and get right back in the playoffs again this year.
So after an encouraging summer camp and an undefeated preseason, the Browns were primed for the start of championship play. They were not prepared for what happened. A lengthy player strike that not only dampened the high hopes for the team, but also resulted in Cleveland's cavernous stadium customarily filled to capacity, standing empty for 2 months of an abbreviated season. Under Seattle's Kingdome, the Seahawks were the first test of the new season. Cleveland's defense made a smashing debut, unveiling a myriad of defensive formations. Several had Chip Banks on the line in a 3-point stance, while a combination of blitzes and stunts confused Seattle. Here, a single pass rusher occupies 3 Seahawk linemen, allowing Tom Cousineau, number 50, to pour in untouched. Also making a memorable debut was number 99, rookie defensive end Keith Baldwin, Cleveland's second-round choice in the college draft. But the undisputed star of the game was number 56, Chip Banks, who's led the Browns to a team record 8 quarterback sacks, personally producing 3 himself, along with a Seahawk fumble. The awesome display of defense overshadowed a balanced attack that featured the running of Mike Pruitt and Charles White.
Charles White outside the end. It's foot race. 10, 5, touchdown! How about those bananas?
I'll take a whole bunch of those bananas.
As opening day victories go, this was one of the best, and anything seemed possible for Sam Rutigliano's young band of Browns. The home opener brought the Philadelphia Eagles, and a sellout crowd was treated to one of the most exciting battles of the season.
Sight back in the pocket, looks, throws, touchdown, Newsome! Beautiful throw!
Once again, the defense played with all-out abandon. They held Philadelphia without a touchdown until the final quarter. Suddenly, Cleveland trailed with 57 seconds left. Here, reminiscent of the Cardiac Kid, Brian Sipe sought some magic and got a big hand from the Wizard of Oz.
Deep to Ozzie Newsome. It's batted or touchdown! He took it away from him! Ozzie Newsome took the ball away and scores a touchdown. Young had the ball and Newsome took it out of his arms and fell over the goal line. A spectacular touchdown. Listen to the crowd.
Then, incredibly, shockingly, it was over. The Browns suffered their first defeat of the season. And after only 2 games of the schedule, pro football was bid goodbye. It would be a long and frustrating 57 days before the Browns' banner would wave again. The world of pro football plunged into darkness. The detour ended, but the season was never the same. In gloomy November weather, the schedule resumed with the Browns hosting the Patriots in the rain. Neither team managed to score until the 4th quarter, when both hit passes for a quick 6 points.
Back to throw it, Brian Sipe. This time, throws it. Feature got it, 28. Broken tackle, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown, Cleveland!
A fumble recovery by Clint Burrell soon gave Cleveland the chance to break the tie.
The Browns are letting the clock run down to kick the field goal.
You still got to make it.
Ball down, the kick is up, it is good! And time has expired on the final play of the game. Matt Barr kicks a 25-yard field goal, and the Browns come back to win it.
With 2 wins and 1 narrow loss, Cleveland remained in the thick of the hunt. But appearances were deceiving, for the dirt had already been delivered to bury the Browns. In the next 4 games, they would face the Chargers, Cowboys, Bengals, and Steelers. Cleveland would get waxed in 3 of the 4. The seeds had been sown from the very first game. In the final minute of that opening day win, linebacker Clay Matthews, number 57, suffered a badly broken ankle. With the loss of one of their finest young players, the highly touted linebacking core was shattered. Teammate Dick Ambrose assessed the cost to the club.
It means a lot. I think probably more than people realize. It's going to be tough to replace a player of his caliber. Of course, you know, we felt he was all pro last year, and we were feeling he was shooting for it this year. So it's going to be a really tough job trying to fill his shoes.
While Matthews was lost in the first game, Mike Pruitt limped off in the second. Injuries hampered him throughout a subpar season. Tom DeLeon and Doug Deacon also suffered ailments that affected their play. After back-to-back blowouts, Cleveland lost again in Cincinnati, but this time showed signs of life. Tom Cousineau's blitz forced Ken Anderson to throw into a crowd, and Clinton Burrell did the rest.
Waits it as he throws, and it is intercepted! Intercepted and a touchdown by Burrell. Nobody touched him after he fell down with the ball, and he picked it up and ran in for the touchdown. And the Bengals are still looking around. They're stunned.
The Browns didn't know it at the time, but in the wake of this 3rd consecutive defeat, Their drive to the NFL playoffs had begun. The next week, the Browns met arch-rival Pittsburgh at the stadium. Faced with a do-or-die situation, Sam Rutigliano made a dramatic change. Young Paul McDonald became the starting quarterback and displayed a cool head and a strong left arm. The bomb was back in the Browns' attack, and the Steelers were left in the wake. Despite the success of their new quarterback, the biggest story of this crucial game was again the defense, this time led by cornerback Hanford Dixon, number 29. Dixon had a sack, forced 2 fumbles, and picked off 3 Bradshaw passes to spark a victorious Browns team.
Back to throw. It's intercepted! Intercepted by Hanford Dixon. The Browns have the game wrapped up with 1:05 to play. Hanford Dixon did it. What a game he's played today.
7 days later in Houston, Chip Banks spent much of the day in the Oilers' backfield and helped hold Earl Campbell to 43 yards. Banks paced a defense that racked up 3 sacks and intercepted 4 passes for the second week in a row. In his second start, Paul McDonald unleashed a 56-yard touchdown pass to Dave Logan as the Browns won their second straight when they needed it most. With the win, Cleveland qualified for the playoffs for the second year in 3 seasons, and for the second straight time would face the Raiders. For the 5 former USC Trojans on the squad, it was a return to the scene of their collegiate triumphs. For a young Browns team, it was an exercise in humility, laced with a few bright moments.
McDonald throws, and it is caught for a touchdown.
Cleveland fell before the Raiders, ending the shortest season in NFL history. But they had accomplished their goal of making the playoffs. In 1983, new offensive coordinator Larry Weaver will have an array of weapons to choose from, particularly at quarterback, where the Browns now have a proven pair. Last year was a strange one for Brian Sipe. 1980's MVP was benched for inconsistency. But when he was on, Sipe showed he has no equal at spreading the ball around. Against the Chargers, he had a club record 33 completions and broke his own mark, completing 14 straight without a miss.
Sipe takes the handoff, going to throw it in the end zone. It is a touchdown to Newsome.
Sipe's winning experience, coupled with Paul McDonald's lively left arm, make the Browns a better team. The southpaw can wing the football. A major goal for next year is to uncover receivers with the on-top speed to go deep. The candidates are Ricky Feature, Dwight Walker, and the fastest player in college football, top draft pick Ron Brown. The other Cleveland receivers are primarily good hands people like Dave Logan, number 85. In tight end Ozzie Newsome, Cleveland has a genuine superstar, an identified flying object who often plays in a higher league. The line was the #1 problem last year as age and injuries increasingly became a factor. Just 2 years ago, the 3 Ds, Deacon, DeLamalure, and De Leon, all made the Pro Bowl. Now the focus is on a core of youngsters led by tackle Cody Rising. Waiting in the wings are a pair of eager understudies, number 61, Mike Babb, and number 71, Matt Miller. Miller, the former All-American from Colorado, is ready to assume a starting position on the line, either at guard or tackle. At 6'6", 270 pounds, he's regarded as the strongest man on the team. A 5th-round choice from Texas, Mike Babb will challenge for the center spot next year. Mike Pruitt continued as the Browns' featured back and most punishing runner. Due to the strike, the fullback failed to reach 1,000 yards for the first time in 4 years. He was joined in the backfield by halfback Charles White. In the Browns system, the Heisman Trophy winner is not the star he was in college. His role is an all-around back, proficient in running, blocking, and pass catching. White ranked 3rd among backs in the conference in pass receiving. Steve Cox's booming kickoffs and punts served as the starting bell for the kamikaze hitters on the special teams. Scott Nicholas, Mike Whitwell, Mark Kafensis, Larry Brazil, and Curtis Weathers relished their task of covering kick returns. A unique feature of the defense was that 3 starters, Mike Robinson, Bob Golick, and Tom Cousineau, were products of Cleveland high schools. In all, 4 on the roster had the rare opportunity to shine in their own backyard. Number 92 defensive end Robinson was one of the chief beneficiaries of the Browns' new strength program.
I've done a lot for a lot of guys, especially me. Last year I went against some guys like the Munozes and the Leon Grays, and they was really strong, and I felt like that I had to go in and build myself up as far as getting my strength together, and I feel like I can handle those big guys.
In his second season, Robbie not only developed new muscles, but the dedication to excel that becoming a starter can bring. The Browns are counting on Robinson to provide all-important pass pressure.
There is no way in the world you can survive in football, and certainly not in the Central Division with Bradshaw and Kenny Anderson, without any kind of a pass rush.
A surprising source was number 79, Bob Golick. Acquired from New England as a linebacker, the switch to nose guard was a master stroke. It allowed the high school star from St. Joseph's to use his wrestling background and techniques to shed blockers. Golick ranked 2nd on the team in sacks. Veteran Clarence Scott was the leader of a young secondary comprised of Clinton Burrell, Hanford Dixon, and Lawrence Johnson. Scotty was the glue for this group of hitters that often unglued opponents from the football. Linebacking is the heart of the 3-4 defense. Potentially, Cleveland has the strongest set in football. In the Browns' defensive scheme, the outside linebackers like number 57, Clay Matthews, are the catalysts, the players who make things happen. Contrasted to the flash and dash on the outside, the inside linebackers, number 50, Tom Cousineau, and Dick Ambrose, number 52, are restricted and more obscure. Operating amid a blur of bodies, they must stay home and hold their ground. Theirs is a partnership defense, working in tandem for the good of the entire unit.
You have to work very, very closely on the inside. You have to be almost like tied by a string, and you have to move together, covering for one another. I'm getting to know the way Dick plays and vice versa, and I think we're going to do very well.
Tom Cousineau would have to change in a phone booth to live up to his advanced billing. Yet he led the team in tackles and gave each game all he had.
Hard. That's the way I play. That's the only way to play defense, I think. I play 100% all the time. You keep your nose in there and keep hustling. You can make good things happen, and that's what I try to do.
In his first season in the NFL, Tom Cousineau started every game, danced every dance. But the belle of the ball was a coach's dream named Banks.
He's 6'5", he's 235 pounds. He runs as fast as he has to. He's great mobility, great open field tackler, guy who makes great plays. And then we get in the four-man line, we line him up as a defensive end, and he sacks quarterbacks. And even Clark Kent can't do that. Somehow, some way, during the course of a football game, he's going to destroy the rhythm of what other people are trying to do, come up with a big play. Before it's all over and done with, he's going to make the same impact on the Cleveland Browns that Lawrence Taylor made on the New York Giants, and that's saying a lot.
Chip Banks was chosen Defensive Rookie of the Year, picked for the Pro Bowl, and honored as Cleveland's Player of the Year. His coaches feel he's hardly scratched the surface of his vast talent.
The main thing I wanted to do coming to Cleveland was to have a positive impact and do whatever I could to make the Browns a winner. That's the main thing, and just to look at me as a heady football player and can come up with the big plays.
For Cleveland's two rising stars, the sky is the limit, and their future belongs to the Browns. For this young team with a well-known nickname, the emphasis is now on the kids. The shortest season is over. Next year, the Browns will have the chance to show what they can do.